Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to my class, Travel Writing and Photography. I hope all of you are safe and sound. Today we will cover topic 1 of the syllabus, Introduction to Travel Writing and Photography. Let me go to my slides. I hope you can see the slides properly, ladies and gentlemen. Anyway, topic 1, Introduction to Travel Writing and Photography. This is where topic 1 is in the syllabus. In topic 1, we will learn about some fundamental ideas of what travel writing and photography is. Before you will learn more about these separate skills in depth in topic 2 and topic 3 respectively. Okay, let's dive into topic 1, shall we? Ladies and gentlemen, travel writing is basically writing about an aspect of travel, any aspect. Travel is very broad, but usually travel writing revolves around such things as places that you visit on a trip, people that you meet on a journey, and things that you see or do while in other places. You write about a place, a person, or a thing that you encounter in a trip in hopes of sharing your experience and, more importantly, inspiring your audience, your readers, to take on the same or at least a similar journey. Sometimes we share our travel experiences so our readers will not make the same mistakes that we did. In other words, our travel stories share with our readers one or two lessons that we learn through first-hand travel experiences. Ladies and gentlemen, it is very easy to fall into the thinking that you can only have a great travel story if and when you travel to a great destination. One of the most powerful things about writing is that it allows you to transform what is ordinary into something extraordinary. Having said this, you can turn your own very familiar hometown into a great destination for your readers by the words that you use to describe your hometown, by the emotions that you invoke in your readers, by the way your stories engage your readers' imagination. Cool, right, ladies and gentlemen? Okay, so you have some ideas as to what travel writing is now, but then you are still compounded by the big question, what do I write for the content of my travel story? Miss Christie, I want to write about Bukit Botak. I had a great time when I hiked it, but I just don't know what to write about it. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a very common dilemma in travel writing. But believe me when I say this, there is a way to get around it, to find the content for your story. We will cover this in detail in topic number 2. For now, let's understand that the content of your travel story pretty much depends on the type of travel story you want to do. So what are the different types of travel stories or travel articles? Let's check them out in the next slide. Ladies and gentlemen, here are the different types of travel stories or travel articles that you can possibly write. In general, there are three distinct categories of travel writing: freelance journalism, blogging, and book writing. Their contents can overlap. They are different on such basis as who are the writer responsible for? What topics can you, the writer, write about? Are you, the writer, being paid for your writing work? How much you, the writer, are required to write in an article or a story? To illustrate, if you are a freelance writer or a blogger, you are not tied to a certain publisher. You can write for anyone who wants to pay you for a story or an article. You can write pretty much about anything and however much or long you want. But when you become a full-time writer for a certain publisher, say Lonely Planet, then your freedom is less in terms of what you can write, how much you can write, the topic that you can write, and so on. Now, let's quickly go through the different types of travel stories under each of the categories. Under freelance travel journalism, you have destination articles, which tell readers about a place to which they might want to travel one day, and which include a lot of useful or interesting facts, such as history, points of interest, natural scenery, trendy spots, and so on. For example, you can have an article like Tenom, an emerging tourist destination in Sabah. Then you have special interest articles which cover only one aspect, one particular aspect of a destination. For example, you can have article like diving in Sabah, indigenous attractions in Malaysia, youth travel in Bangkok, and so on. Next, you have holiday and special events, which by the name itself, I'm sure you can imagine the content of such articles, holidays and special events. Who knows, one day you will be writing an article about the Olympics, about Mardi Gras, about a charity event, and so on. Next, you have roundups, also known as listicles. Examples of roundups or listicles are 20 best bars in Malaysia, top 10 new places to visit in Sarawak. Articles that write about top 10, top 50, 100 best, not to miss, 40 new places, and so on. Another type of freelance travel articles is personal essays, which are based on personal experiences that possess a strong voice while showing insight, growth, and backstory. For example, you can have a personal essay related to how, say, your travel to um, Mount Everest had contributed to your personal growth. Okay, then you have op-eds, which are opinion pieces. In other words, in op-eds or opinion pieces, you share your opinion. For example, you can have an op-ed article like COVID-19, a blessing in disguise for overtourism, or an op-ed article like why flight to nowhere will be a short-term travel trend. Moving to travel blogging, you have how-to articles which act as advice articles, advising or suggesting to future travelers on the many how-to aspects of travel, such as how to travel solo as a female wanderer, how to travel Europe on a budget, how to travel like a local in Sri Lanka, how to save money for trips, how to start a travel blog, and so on. Itineraries reveal the schedule that the writer took at a given destination, city by city or side by side. They are meant for travelers who are embarking on a similar trip and they need a template. For examples, articles like My Complete Peru Itinerary, a 2 week or a 2 week itinerary, backpacking Europe on a budget. Long form travel blogging tells a travel story through extended narrative content. It's similar to personal essays, but a long form travel story can be a very long story because it covers at least a week's worth of adventure, while personal essays or personal travel stories usually cover only one aspect of a trip. Now, books. Books can be travelogues, where authors record their adventures in a way that illustrates or sheds light on the place itself. For example, books like The Great Railway Bazaar by Paul Thoreau and Travels with Charlie, a Dog, in Search of America by John Steinbeck. Then you have travel memoirs, where authors record their adventures in a way that illustrates the author himself or herself, and not so much about the place. For example, books like Eat, Pray, Love by Elizabeth Gilbert, and also the book like Wild by Cheryl Street. Maybe some of you have read those books. Last but not least, they are guidebooks that are straightforward, informative, and fact-filled. For example, Lonely Planet Guidebook for Nepal or Rough Guide in Japan. So there you are, ladies and gentlemen, the 12 different types of travel stories you can possibly write. In all likelihood, for my class, for your assignments, you will be writing personal essays and op-eds. For your assignments or exercises, honestly, I am only keen on reading personal essays and op-eds. So hopefully you can focus on them. Now, moving on to the next slide. Here is a long list of travel writing titles. Take a look at them and feel free to drop a question should you have any, ladies and gentlemen. I'll move on to the next slide. Now, in your opinion, can everyone, like absolutely everyone, become a travel writer? Why don't you pause this video lecture for a few minutes and think about it? Can everyone become a travel writer? What does it take to become a good travel writer? What are the qualities needed? What is the responsibility that comes with that? Think, ladies and gentlemen. To answer those questions, one of the most important factors is money. Do you want to get paid for your writing works? Or you don't mind, you don't care about money because all you care is sharing your travel experiences? Well, if you can have both, that would be the best. But if you have to choose between the options, what will be your choice? Oh my God, it's raining really heavily outside, so I hope you still can hear me properly, ladies and gentlemen. Now, getting back to our lecture, sorry for the short interruption. Ladies and gentlemen, travel writer is not a lucrative or a highly paid profession career. If you are a freelance writer, you'll only get paid when a publisher asks you to write and pay you for that article. How much you're paid pretty much depends on how many words you write. To illustrate, during the last semester break, I signed up for an online travel, online writing job, writing 5 destination articles for Andalusia in Spain. The payment was 14 euros per article. For each article, I needed to write at least 1,000 words with 5 keywords that were to be repeated at least 5 times in the article. Not an easy job, I must say. At the end of the day, I thought, the money paid was not worth the amount of time and energy that I invested in writing the 5 destination articles in Andalusia. Even Don George, the Lonely Planet's author, said, "You cannot make much money out of travel writing, but you will definitely be rich in terms of experiences." Successful travel writers also possess certain qualities, such as flexible, adaptable, modest, have an understanding family and friends. They are curious, tenacious, motivated, disciplined, are not easily discouraged, and they have passion, instinct, insight, and imagination. Ladies and gentlemen, let's look inwards and evaluate ourselves on these qualities. Do we have them? To what extent do we have them or not have them? As a travel writer, you will have a fundamental commitment to your readers to explore a place deeply and fully and to report the information your reader needs to know by writing an honest, fair, objective, and accurate portrayal of that place. Integrity is the travel writer's compass and key. So keep that in mind, ladies and gentlemen. So a travel writer does not get paid much. He or she also needs to have certain qualities to be successful. And a travel writer is bound by the responsibility of integrity. The job sounds heavy, doesn't it? So why do it? Because of these three big rewards. You become a better traveler because you pay more attention to details, big and small, when you travel. Um, when you pay more attention, you engage all your senses. You take down notes, etc. When you pay more attention, you experience more. When you experience more, you accumulate more meaningful memories. And as you write your story about a past travel experience, you get to live that experience all over again, ladies and gentlemen. We have come to the second part of topic one, travel photography. What is travel photography? For now, let's just understand travel photography as a subcategory of photography involving the documentation or recording of an area's landscape, scenery, people, cultures, customs, and history. According to the Photographic Society of America, a travel image expresses, I love what they say, the feeling of a time and place, portrays a land, its people, or culture in its natural state, so not staged culture, and has no geographical limitations. Travel images can be so powerful they transport the viewers or people who look at the images into the places and cultures captured in the images. For example, when you look at this travel image, what feeling and time do you get from it? Or what does this photo tell you about the people or women in Myanmar? Or looking at this travel image, what impressions do you get of the landscape and the culture of the Gobi Desert? Describe, ladies and gentlemen. Um, we will talk more about travel photography in topic three, like the things that you can see on the slide. So I will not say much for now. Before we end this video lecture, here is your very first exercise. It's simple. List down all the potential topics that you can write about. You may share your ideas on our Google Classroom. To illustrate, I provide some of the topics that I hope to write one of these days. My quest for girls of Mount Alishan, a story related to a Taiwanese folk song called Alishan Punyang, a song that I sang as a kid at the Chinese school I attended. Then paying forward in Anuradhapura about the kindness I received in Anuradhapura, Sri Lanka, and how it created the ripple effect of me showing kindness to another person, another human soul. Marriage proposal in Cairo, which is based on a humorous experience that I had in Cairo. Earth angels do exist. Another story about kindness when I got lost and confused in Ulaanbaatar, Mongolia, and was helped by the local people. And lastly, I'm hoping to write I Am Not Given Enough about my ziplining experience in Laos. So, share your ideas with us. For the benefit of this exercise, your ideas do not have to be trouble related. If you can relate to trouble, fantastic. But you can also pitch in ideas based on personal events that hold some meaning for you. That's it about topic one, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you have enjoyed this video lecture. I hope you have enjoyed this video lecture, and should you have any question, please do not hesitate to drop them in our Google Classroom. Thank you, and bye-bye for now. See you next time, ladies and gentlemen. Bye.